A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
At the time, we didn't think it was anything too serious.
That COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
A Washington state resident fell ill after returning from Wuhan, China, where the outbreak began.
And as the market's reaction to the outbreak causes concern for many of us overseas, the situation there is already very serious.
They were saying about China, they were sending people back from other countries back to the United States so that the spread wouldn't get worse, the spread, although it did get worse.
We're going to begin with the states of emergency across this country, and now here in New York City, a state of emergency declared as well.
We are asking the American public to work with us to prepare in the expectation that this could be bad.
I am officially declaring a national emergency.
We were watching the news, and schools were announcing that they were shutting down for 2 weeks.
Regret to have to announce that as of tomorrow, our public schools will be closed.
I was supposed to be on the varsity fencing team.
I felt very isolated from my friends. I knew it was not going to be 2 weeks.
Wave to our teachers, not even being able to give them a hug or a handshake to say goodbye.
I'm not even pictured in the yearbook.
I feel like I have no closure from senior year of high school.
I graduated in the miserable year of 2020, but before that was actually pretty fun.
It was a lot different than it is now. I feel like my life definitely changed a lot. Majority of my day would be spent outdoor with my neighbors on my block, playing basketball, riding bikes, football, interacting with everyone, and just hanging out. I also lived in a lot smaller of a house, so I was unable to really have a lot of me time, so it was kind of a shared and communal space between me and my sisters. But before COVID, it was a little different.
The last day we went into school on that Friday, I remember it was dead. I went in and I remember towards the end, my last period class, no one was there, not even a teacher, so I remember I just left.
Jana Okuda. The tassel just has the 20 with the navy and the white little cords or strings, whatever you want to call it, because my high school colors were navy blue and white. Quarantine was horrible. How about that? So I was home all the time. I was inside my room the whole pandemic. We tried making the best of it by visiting my grandparents, but that was really hard because my grandfather, he wasn't really in the best health. And it was just really hard, because we couldn't really hug him or anything. It was hard for my grandma because her health also wasn't that good. So we tried to make the best out of it. But it was just really hard. I felt very isolated from my friends. I just wasn't happy at all. I just got this yesterday, but this has to be my favorite area in my room because it has all my makeup, which, can't live without makeup. And it has all my books that I've read all last year. I've actually been in a reading slump, but I really want to start reading again. Even though the school year gets very stressful, I just feel reading takes me to a different dimension. I feel I'm not living in real life. It's an escape for me, reading. And I would have to say I'm the most happiest when I do read. And yeah. I first, when it pushed that 2-week mark,
I remember I was making jokes about it. I was like, oh, I told you guys. And I kept making jokes like, oh, our graduation's about to be on Google Classroom. We're not going to have a graduation. I'm about to have prom in my living room. And the further COVID kind of went on and the further, you know, it got bad, and then I started seeing my friends being affected by it. I started seeing that, you know, my friends' families were being affected by it. I started seeing that my family was being affected by it. It got to a point where I kind of hit like a bleak spot where I realized like, oh, you know, this is something serious.
The daytime part of it really boring because I remember being isolated in my room and like, well, not my room, but in my house, like, and like the only freedom I would get leaving the house would be to go on walks, and that's it. Because like I had my license, but I didn't really have anywhere to drive because none of my friends, none of us were hanging out because obviously quarantine and stuff.
So, welcome to my crib. This past couple of years, I've been building my room to really scream Rosa. If you don't know me, I'm chaotic and I'm loud and I'm messy, and this room envisions me. I got posters hanging up because why not? I got my Spider-Man, Back to the Future, Power Rangers, Billie Eilish, drawings that my sister made because my sister's an artist, but she doesn't like to say she is. All I remember was I was outside with my neighbors and we were all talking about like what's gonna happen, and we were outside till I want to say like 1 a.m. just thinking about like all the crazy possibilities that suddenly became a reality.
Before quarantine, there was a lot going on, like roughly the end of February, beginning of March range. There was a lot going on in my life. My older sister, she's 10 years older than me, she had moved to South Korea all alone, no one there. And I remember I was going through that change of always seeing her, always having her around, and now her just being gone completely. And then when COVID hit, it was, the transition into COVID was really strange. It didn't feel like it was happening. It felt like whatever. I didn't really care at the time. I didn't care for much in high school to begin with, so I was like, whatever.
Nighttime, it was really exciting because we would all hop on Minecraft and do stupid crap all the time. Oh my god, Rosa. Oh god, Rosa. But, yeah, we would have a lot of fun. We would have a lot of fun at the nighttime. I remember I would always look forward to the nighttime. Like, always look forward to the nighttime because we would all hop on at the same time and then just pure hell would, like, ensue.
I have friends, and even my brother who went to private school, they all had drive-by graduations. We did not have that at all. What we did was, like, we went up to the school and just, like, took pictures, and that was it. But then, I guess someone was in, like, the school building or something, and they kicked us off the campus because we couldn't take pictures.
In case you can't tell, I really like cars. I got my Hot Wheels lined up perfectly. I got my guitar amps down here. I got a little Lars. My friend Chris gave me this. Shout out to Chris. Love him. I got a gnome that my mommy made me. Isn't she cute?
That gnome is very cute.
I told her she looks like Wendy from the Wendy's food chain, and she yelled at me. For starters, like, our championship football game lost, and like they got crushed. Like, they sucked. We lost a classmate, someone that we knew personally. We also had homecoming canceled like 2 times, which sucked. And then the day that homecoming happened, it was really cold and everyone left early because it was cold and rainy and just was not fun. We lost Senior Sing for the first time in like God knows how long. Which these all sound so small, but like they lead up, and then COVID just happened and all this hard work kind of felt like it was for nothing. Like everyone was working to walk across a stage and graduate and get that physical like validation of I did something and like I accomplished something, and we didn't get it.
It was really upsetting. Cause every single kid, you work your whole life like in school, and you really just hope for senior year, because senior year is supposed to be the best year of your life. You know, you could go out with friends, with parties. You know, have prom, and I remember we were supposed to go to prom. Remember?
What's up, MTV Crib? Check this out. Yarn blanket. I worked on it myself. I love crocheting, so this is one thing that it's still not done yet. It's not big enough, so it's still not done yet. It all started to hit me at once where, we're not gonna have a graduation in person. I worked all these years for my high school graduation. I'm not gonna have it. That prom that I wanted, it's not gonna happen. It went from me seeing it as a joke, the realization hit, and then the depression that came along with COVID hit as well.
I was this shy kid that I didn't want nothing to do anywhere. I never opened up my mouth, kept to myself. Now I have no filter, which is kind of a bad thing. But I have my forever friends now. I have my friend, like, beforehand, yeah, I had like I said before, I had my friends, but like I saw who's my real friends and who's obviously like the friends who, like fake friends and real friends you see throughout the pandemic, who really want to talk to you but didn't want to talk to you.
Myself, I've definitely become a different person, which is a good thing, because I was very insecure about myself during the pandemic. Because I was always like hide and just not like tell others how I feel and stuff like that. But now I feel like I've developed into a confident person. Like I found like a good group of friends. Like I feel like I've made like more friends that I've had in the past that are more genuine than the ones that I've had.
Well, for starters, I gained a lot more independence from myself. I broke out of my shell and I allowed myself to find happiness, allowed myself to be happy, proved to myself that I was worth it, and just continued living life the way my life should be lived. Obviously adhering to COVID restrictions, but that really didn't stop me from becoming who I was. It also allowed me to get a lot closer with my sisters without annoying them for being on top of them, but also gave us the separation we needed to grow and allowed me and my sisters to grow as siblings and as a family.
My life completely, it was on this end, and now my life is all like on this end, and it's only been like what, 3-4 years, like roughly, like complete difference in who I was. I started COVID as this naive 17-year-old. I thought that the world revolved around me. I thought that, I'm not, I don't mess with people, all that. I was very cold-hearted. I was really cruel as a person. I had a lot of anger. And now, the older I got, and with COVID and the circumstances that happened during COVID, the situations that happened during COVID to me personally, kind of changed me more into a very sensitive person. And I know people usually have like a problem, like when someone says that I'm sensitive, people think about it in a negative connotation, but I feel happier than I did pre-COVID.
I wanted to be an architect. I got my associate's degree in architecture. So I had a long conversation with Lauren's mom, actually, who gave me, I talked to her for like maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then she really made me decide, like, you know, like she really inspired me to want to become a teacher. And I gotta say, she's my big role model. I go to her for like all the advice, for all advice on teaching and stuff, and she's been awesome for that. But beforehand, you know, I wanted to become an architect. Then I realized, and also after working at IS2, you know, being a role model for kids and helping kids is awesome, you know.
Well, my whole life I had my heart and eyes set on becoming a doctor. I specifically wanted to become a pediatrician and work with children. Ever since I was little, that's all I could really want to be. Both of my parents were in the medical field, and I kind of grew this fascination with being in the medical field. When I first went into college, I tried to get into the nursing program and did not get in, unfortunately. It's a very competitive program and it sucks, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't regret switching majors. Switching majors has been one of the most incredible things that I've done with my life, and I'm genuinely so incredibly happy learning about English and learning how to educate our youth and learning how to make children active and productive members of society.
And at the time of the pandemic, I had a job, but then I took a pause from work because with graduation, well, not even graduation, like online school was just taking a toll. So I was working at this tutoring place. I was getting paid $10 off the bucks. That's nothing. So I was there up until November 2022, and I got this new job with UIU where I'm a group leader, and that's where I reconnected with my friend Lauren, and I met my friends Iris and Joe who also work there, and then just like a whole bunch of friends from their friend group. And I feel like that really kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, I found like my people, if that makes sense. Like,
luckily, with the help of two of my closest friends, I got a job in a school, which at the time I didn't think was like after school. I didn't think it was gonna be anything. I didn't think anything of it. I just did the job to do the job, but I ended up loving it so much that it made me change my career path. I found a certain calling, and I knew I wanted to work with students. I wanted to work with kids. And it's interesting to think about that school was an awful transition for me. I just now recently am used to the concept of going back to school, of putting my work, my effort into school, but I found joy in working in a school building and teaching others. And
just having that feeling that, you know, kids look up to you and they, like, you inspire them. Like I know I've inspired so many kids to want to like either play piano or sing, which is awesome. And there's like two kids in particular that really stick out to me, that really inspired me to become a teacher, and I'm forever grateful for them, because yeah.
So this is my graduation cap that I made with my friends. It just says, "And her story continues," just to kind of like show that how far I've come, and you know, like life goes on even after what happened during my senior year, but it just shows that, you know, my story is continuing, like I'm on to like big and better things in life. So yeah.
So I would say that change is really hard. It doesn't matter who you are, I don't care. Change is always hard. Transitioning into things is always really difficult. But I would say to people, genuinely, the advice of take it a day at a time, take it one step at a time is very important. I believe in God, so I would personally say there's a verse that basically mentions, why worry about tomorrow when today was already tough? Take everything slowly and go with everything slowly. No, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. But in itself, that advice I take with me, you know, take everything a step at a time. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry if stuff stressed you out today, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the changes of tomorrow. Don't worry about the transition of tomorrow, right? Just stick with what's going on now.
I guess like a bit of advice that I have is to don't give up, and everything happens for a reason. Like even with COVID, like that happened, but I feel like there's like a reason why it happened. It helped a lot of people, I guess, reevaluate their lives, like make them rethink everything that they've done in the past up until now. I'm definitely like a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
This is something I say something that I say frequently. And it helped me a lot for quarantine. A life without music is a miserable one. Just remember how important a role music plays in your life, because it could just change your mood like that.
The one thing I would say, well, the one thing I would ask is the question I asked myself. If you were to die today, would you die happy?
Joe, catch. Don't drop. No, I am gonna leave.